Welcome everyone. At the very beginning of the teaser project, avatars like myself were seen as the ultimate gateway to digital learning, a visual, engaging way to enter a new kind of classroom. But as the project developed, we discovered a growing need for something more interactive, the ability to actually talk with an avatar. That's when we realized how powerful ChatGPT could be. By combining it with our educational goals, we found that a text-based avatar can be surprisingly effective from a pedagogical point of view. It allows for reflection, flexibility, and meaningful dialogue. In the next part, I'll show you an example. Mrs. De Vries, one of our text-based avatars in action.
This GPT was created in ChatGPT. This chatbot represents Mrs. De Vries. Mrs. De Vries is a woman who lives in a residential neighborhood, and the social work students have read a file stating that Mrs. De Vries is becoming lonely and that her garden is deteriorating, and they have been given the assignment to get to know Mrs. De Vries, to go have a cup of coffee with her. They do this via WhatsApp and this chat. This simulates a chat on WhatsApp representing a typical conversation with exchanged messages. Normally, a ChatGPT always starts by asking a question. In this case, we made sure it doesn't do that, so the student always has to start the conversation. I'm going to start a conversation now, and I'm curious to see how Mrs. De Vries will respond. Well, as you can read, Mrs. De Vries doesn't know who I am. I also didn't mention that. So now I need to make sure that I do introduce myself after all. So that's what I'm doing now. And Mrs. De Vries, she's quite reserved and will need to be convinced with knowledge of the case file. You engage in this conversation. The social worker will ask all sorts of questions. Eventually, they'll try to set up an appointment. The students manage to do that in the end. And at the end of the conversation, they can receive an evaluation by using the command stop chat. This evaluation is the one that has been taught by the teachers, and in this case is in Dutch. Of course, it can be provided in any language you want. And you can simply indicate that by starting a new chat. For example, simply by navigating to the section called Ask a Question and asking, can you answer in English? You can proceed. In this way, you actually have a text-driven avatar that we use, and the students were really enthusiastic about it. After the conversation with Mrs. De Vries, we continued exploring. We scanned a street with a Matterport scanner, which is kind of like Google Street View. And in that Street View, we linked several chatbots to houses. So here you have Peter, Arnie, Joris, and Ralph who live here. Here lives Mrs. Thea. I think she's similar to Mrs. De Vries. And here are Peter and Marek. So these are cases that students from social work use to practice. In the same way as with Mrs. De Vries, through a chat, they start a conversation with, in this case, Peter and Marika. The avatar is now partly in the text-based ChatGPT avatar and actually one big avatar of the street. You can move slowly and carefully through the street, taking your time and step by step, observing your surroundings as you go. You can even go inside people's homes to see, in detail, how they live their daily lives and to practice helping clients in the neighborhood in a realistic way. In this particular case, you are assisting a lady who needs some help with her paperwork, such as filling out important forms and organizing her documents, making sure everything is in order for her.